The locked room. Murder. The crime that should have been impossible. In 1994, police in a quiet suburban town responded to a call about a strange smell coming from an apartment. When they broke down the door, they walked into a nightmare. A man was dead, shot once in the chest. No signs of forced entry, windows locked from the inside, and the gun lying across the room, far from where the body was found. This was the locked room mystery that baffled investigators for weeks, until one tiny fiber revealed the impossible truth. Narrator: on June 12th, at 8:47 a.m., neighbors reported a foul odor leaking into the hallway. Officers arrived expecting a medical emergency. Instead, they found 42-year-old Daniel Mercer slumped on the floor of his living room. He'd been dead for at least 3 days. But what stunned officers wasn't the body. It was the room itself. The door was locked from the inside, the windows sealed, no signs of struggle, no fingerprints except Daniel's. A classic, impossible crime. Investigators wanted a simple answer. Maybe Daniel took his own life. Maybe he fired the shot, staggered, and collapsed. But that theory collapsed instantly. Why was the gun all the way across the room? It was almost 2 meters away, farther than any fall or recoil could explain. Gunshot residue tests showed something else. Daniel hadn't fired the gun. Someone else pulled the trigger. Yet no one could have left the apartment, not without walking through the locked door. Could the killer have climbed in through a window? Impossible. All windows were locked. Dust on the frames showed no disturbances. No footprints outside, no rope marks, nothing. How about the door? Still locked from inside when police arrived. No scratches, no tampering. Detectives were stuck. They had a murder, with no murderer. 3 days into the investigation, forensic technician Maria Alvarez spotted something the initial team missed: a thin, synthetic fiber caught under the inside doorknob. It didn't belong to Daniel. It didn't match any clothing in the apartment, but it matched something else: industrial-grade nylon fishing line. Detectives began piecing it together. The killer stood outside the apartment. He fed a long fishing line under the door, looping it around the trigger of the gun. He positioned the weapon using the gap under the door. Then, standing safely in the hallway, he pulled. The gun fired. The recoil sent the weapon flying across the room. The room stayed locked. The killer never entered. It was elaborate, carefully planned, and shockingly effective. Now the question was, who would go this far to kill Daniel Mercer? Detectives dug into Daniel's life. They discovered that Daniel was embroiled in a bitter legal fight with his business partner, Evan Rourke. The company they built together was collapsing. Millions were at stake, and Evan was on the verge of losing everything. When police questioned him, he denied any involvement. But investigators had their doubts, so they searched his workshop. And there it was, a spool of industrial nylon fishing line, the exact kind used in the murder. Under a microscope, the fibers matched perfectly. Evan was arrested the next morning. Faced with evidence he couldn't explain, Evan cracked. He admitted the entire plan. He knew Daniel lived alone. He knew Daniel always locked his door. He wanted a murder that looked impossible. A death that would delay investigations long enough for him to drain their company's remaining funds. But he never expected a single fiber to betray him. And the locked room mystery was solved, not by luck, not by confession, but by the smallest clue: a single synthetic thread. Without it, the murder might have gone unsolved forever. Another impossible crime lost to time. But sometimes, even the perfect crime leaves behind one imperfect detail, just waiting for the right eyes to find.